Number 19, 72 Zonk, 72C Zonk says, what advice do you have for a man who married a Christian, but she's turned away from the faith? I struggle with feeling betrayed by her and God and worry about raising our newborn in the faith. Love your wife as Christ loved the church. Love her self-sacrificially. Love her. Don't withhold your care for her, your kindness to her because she's turned away from the faith. All the more see it as a way of demonstrating Christ's love towards us. When we were still sinners, he died for us. Give her incredible grace. Don't cut her out of your life because she can't be part of your spiritual life. And when she reacts negatively, you turn the other cheek and you speak kindly and graciously. Now, when it comes to raising your newborn in the faith, I think there I would put my foot down and say, I am this baby's dad, and I'm going to share the truth of Christ with our child. And I don't think you can stop the mom from also sharing her unbelief with the baby. And most likely, statistically speaking, I mean, after many years of doing youth ministry, your kid's going to grow up thinking, I'm Christian and not Christian. I mean, almost every little kid I found who had parents of different faiths, or of one of no faith and one of some particular religious group, they almost always just do a smorgasbord view. What are you? Well, I'm Christian and Muslim because my mom's Christian, my dad's Muslim. I'm Christian and atheist because my mom's, atheist, my dad's Christian. I think that is typically what happens. But one of the tiebreakers is this. When your kid, your little girl, little boy looks at you and sees your love and your godliness and your character, and then sees these things not portrayed in a Christ-like way from mom, this is going to be a tiebreaker for them. So one thing you can do to prepare is understand the arguments and reasons, whether they're emotional or intellectual, that your wife has for having rejected the faith. Understand them and research them and get good at apologetics, at least in those areas, because these are the same areas you're going to have to talk to your kid about. But as much as you disagree on these issues, extend love and kindness and grace to your wife. Demonstrate the love Jesus had on the cross when he says, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. You feel betrayed by her, and you said, let me talk a little bit about your sentence here. You said, I feel betrayed by her and God. And this isn't about you. It's just not about you. Her turning from God makes you feel like you're betrayed by her. This is between her and God, and that's a scary thing. You think God, I mean, I'm not saying, okay, 72C Zonk, I'm not saying that you believe God betrayed you. I get how you wrote it. I struggle with feeling betrayed by her and God. That's a fair thing to struggle with. But here's where you got to give yourself real honest talk and say, God was faithful to me and her. She was not faithful to God. Now, this hopefully is part of a story. In the long run, she returns and she comes back stronger than ever. But it's not because of God's betrayal. It's not. And, the advice in 1 Peter 3 is to wives that they'll honor their husbands even if they're not believers. And I think the advice here to you is the same. In fact, let's look at it now. I think it would go both ways. It says to wives, but I'm going to offer the other side of the coin to a husband. Wives, likewise, be submissive to your own husbands. Here, I would say, husband, be loving and gracious and self-sacrificial, nourishing and cherishing your wife. Right? That even if she doesn't obey the word, she might be one without a word. That is not because you're debating her constantly, but because you demonstrate Christ-like love to her in ways that she just can't help but see. She might be won by the conduct of her husband. Right? When she observes your loving and gracious and cherishing and nourishing conduct, accompanied by the reverence you have for Christ and the love you have for God, then it goes on. It hopefully will have that impact. And then, the impact it has on your kids is to sanctify them. This is what Scripture says, that your presence now is the only sanctifying impact, the gospel of Christ, the love of God that is going to be in the life of your kids. So all that much more, you need to hold that marriage together, and you need to be there to impact your kid. So God help you. I hope you can have a stronger and stronger marriage.